What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. Today I want to talk about something that I posted up on Instagram, and I felt like it was a much needed post, and it got a really good response on there, and that is what the judges are looking for as far as bikini and now classic physique. And I guess we'll do physique too. I haven't really done that one on Instagram yet. We'll do physique today too. And the reason why we're doing this is there's actually a need for it. So last year, as you guys know, I became an NPC judge, and this year I've been included in the posing clinics that Peter Gordon, head judge in our area, has been doing. It's called Stage Ready. And what we're doing is we're bringing the competitors to whatever location we're at and teaching them basically how to pose from a judge's perspective and what the judges are looking for. So what Peter had noticed, and he's said several times, is many people that are competing, they don't really put an emphasis on the posing. So they have this great physique and they get on stage and they stand weird and they hide their, instead of hiding their flaws and showing their strengths, they hide their strengths, they show their flaws, they wind up getting marked down, and then they leave, really upset because they didn't place where they thought they should have placed. And maybe they shouldn't have placed there, but we didn't see what they see in the mirror or what they see in the gym, because they're not showing us that. They're showing us a different version of it that doesn't look like what they're used to seeing. So what we've been doing is actually teaching them how to pose, explaining to them that, the judge's eyes are very down low, so you have to, things that I think they normally wouldn't think of. And what Peter had observed, and I actually observed too, and he mentioned it the last time we talked, was that many people work with coaches and trainers, and they're listening to the coaches and trainers, and these coaches and trainers really don't know how to do the posing. Like, they're not just not experts in it, they don't even know how to do it. Like, some of them have never competed before, some of them have no clue whatsoever how to do these poses, and what they're doing is teaching their clients, because they're like including it in the training. They're like, yeah, I do the training, I do the diet, I do the posing, I do the choosing the suit, I do everything, right? Like, it's like a jack of all trades, and they'll charge a fair price, and people go, wow, I get everything under the sun here, I'm going to do that, right? And really, there's no qualifications for it, right? So there's thousands and millions of these trainers and coaches online and all over the place, and some of them, I'm not saying all of them, but some of them don't know what the fuck they're doing. So what do we do? So Peter has actually opened up the posing seminar and said, why don't you trainers and coaches come to the seminar, right? So you guys can see what we're doing, so then you can teach your clients and stuff how to pose the right way. And so many egos get in the way. You guys would be shocked. Maybe you wouldn't be shocked, but there's so many egos out there that they don't take them up on the offer. They kind of blow it off. They're like, yeah, we know what we're doing. And then their clients place low, and then they blame the judges. And it's like, it's not the judge's fault. You're not preparing your people correctly. So without further ado, we're going to go into this. And another thing too, like, this is another thing that happened. It happened on Instagram, and I don't know who the fuck guy is. Some IFBB pro, and bottom line is, I've never heard of the guy. Like, he might not even be an IFBB. Who knows? He had IFBB pro in his name, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they actually are a pro. This guy actually started arguing with me about what classic physique is, and I kind of stepped back and I said, well, I'm not here to argue. I'm here to tell you what the judges are looking for, and I've sat through meetings about this, and I've been trained about what to look for, and this is what the judges want. And he laughed. He was like, ha ha ha, Mr. NPC judge. He made fun of me because, I don't know if he didn't believe me or what the case was, but it was like he made fun of me like he knows better. Now, here's the thing. Many people think because they see the name, the IFBB pro or or pro or whatever in front of someone's name, that automatically they think they know what they're doing. That is not necessarily the truth. Now, there are plenty of IFBB pros out there that are amazing. They're smart, they understand what to do, they know how to pose, everything, right? They're right on point. But there's many of them that are not. And there are some of them that literally don't even know how to train themselves. Like, I personally know a few pros right offhand that I can think of off the top of my head. One right off the top of my head that doesn't even know how to train. Goes to the gym, has someone put them through all the workouts, has someone do the diet for them. They do the tan, they pick the suit, they do everything for them, right? Put them on stage, one is for a show, went to the next show, won the pro card, is now a pro, competing in the pros, not doing bad, but not doing great either at the same time, still not knowing how to train. And now this person is starting to take on clients, and I'm like, I'd ask them, like, well, why are you doing that? And they're like, I don't know, my trainer told me to do it. I'm like, well, what does it do? Like, that's a weird exercise. What does it do? Like, I don't know, my trainer told me to do it. And this person's actually giving advice because they're an IFBB pro, and they're out there using that to push themselves and literally has no clue how to train. Doesn't even know the basics yet. So you really have to be careful who you're listening to. So if you're a competitor, listen to the judges. Okay, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about contact the judges in your area. Like, you must know who the judges are. If not, contact the promoter. The promoter will tell you who the head judge is and the other judges, and you can contact them through email and ask them the criteria, or you might even be able to send them pictures ahead of time, but don't do bathroom selfies. Like, have someone take a picture in an open space, wearing your suit and stuff, doing your poses, and ask them what they think you should work on for that show. Do it 12 weeks out, do it 10 weeks out, do it 8 weeks out. Like, ask them personally. Don't ask someone who doesn't know, because you're listening to someone showing up on stage, and I promise you, you'll never feel anything like the disappointment knowing that you put 20 weeks of hard work into something and you had a physique that probably should have beat everyone else, but you stood so weird that you looked weird and the other people looked better than you on stage. Like, there's no worse feeling than that. Trust me, guys. So what is the criteria for classic physique? So classic physique, for some reason, and I've been actually very disappointed in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 shows I've gone to. I think people think classic physique is a toned down version of bodybuilding. Now, toned down meaning less muscle. That doesn't mean not as shredded. You should come in as shredded, hard, dry, bone dry as possible in classic physique. Now, you have to have legs, okay? It's not like regular physique where we're in board shorts. You have to have legs, but you don't have to have Tom Platz's legs, okay? It's not like the guy with the biggest legs wins classic physique. It doesn't work like that. You have to have balance. Balance is key with classic physique in all body parts, just like bodybuilding, but you want to have a super small, tight waist, no distended abdomen, flowing muscles. You want to have symmetry. You want to have shape. You want to have proportion. You want to have cuts. You want to have all the things that you would need in bodybuilding, but you're carrying less muscle. Then you also want to hit the classic poses. Now, this is another problem. The classic poses are being hit so terribly by so many people because they don't practice. They just don't practice. So practice the posing. Practice learning how to do those poses like Arnold and Frank Zane and those guys like that, because those are the poses that we're looking for. Now, the conditioning, for some reason, I think a lot of people go, I don't want to do physique because it's stupid. You wear board shorts. I'm going to do classic physique. Meanwhile, they don't even have enough muscle for regular physique. Their conditioning is so bad, they're not even beach ready, and they're hopping in these shows. Please make sure you're in. If you're not carrying the amount of muscle, fine, but make sure you are in condition. Dry to the bone. Make sure you're as hard and dry, razor sharp, like Gary Udit says, as hard as you can get. You'll never be marked down for being too ripped or too muscular, okay? Now, that being said, moving on to bikini. I've seen probably at least 2 or 3 in each class of bikini that look like they should probably be figure. They're carrying too much muscle. They have wide shoulders, small waist. Even when they're just standing there, they have an X frame instead of that bikini look where it's the curvy with the small waist and the round glutes and the sweeping quads. It's a different look. So whether you're physique, bikini, women's physique, bikini, figure, women's physique, make sure you're going in the right class, because you could look amazing. You could look like just the best competitor ever, and you have too much muscle, and you're standing there looking like a figure competitor against the bikini girls, and the bikini girls beat you, and you don't do well, and that is a bad feeling. And again, also, I'm seeing so many girls not come in shape, okay? Please make sure, whether you're doing bikini, like, I think people go, well, it's not physique and it's not figure, so I don't have to be as hard. Well, you still have to be in shape. You have to be athletic. You have to have a good overall athletic look. Lean, but not too lean. Have some muscle so you look athletic, but not as athletic as a figure competitor. Like, there is specifically a spot that you have to be at. And, I'll put up pictures so you can see throughout this video. There'll be pictures popping up so you can see examples of what these physiques look like. Moving on to men's physique. Now, men's physique. This one has been the home run of the NPC and the IFBB for the last couple of years. This division is the biggest division right now. Bikini and physique, those are the 2 biggest divisions. And for a good reason. These guys have amazing, amazing physiques. Now, physique is not about, well, he doesn't have legs, so he does physique. When you're doing physique, you want wide shoulders, wide lats, a nice V-taper, the smallest, tiniest waist you can get. The first thing we do is we look at the silhouette. We look at the taper of the individual, how small their waist is, and how they stand in their poses, okay? The physique poses, they're technically a stance. You have front, back, and that's it. So basically 50% of your score is front, 50% of your score is the back. That's it. So if you have one pose that looks great and the other one's messed up, and the guy standing next to you has both poses perfect, he's gonna beat you, because 50% of your score is based on the front, 50's on the back. Now, please guys, I've seen this again. They go, well, I'm not classic physique and I'm not bodybuilding, so I don't really have to be as muscular. And people think when they say muscular, they automatically are thinking lean. They don't have to be as lean. I've seen guys get on there. They don't, I mean, they're not even beach ready. You have to be lean, okay? You have to be as lean as, just be as lean as you can possibly be, okay? Whatever that is, get as hard, dry, and lean as you can possibly be for physique, for classic physique, for bodybuilding, whatever. Just make sure you come in shape, because I promise you, you may look great in the gym, and as soon as you stand on stage, those lights hit you, and they're bright, and your tan is not dark enough, you immediately don't look as sharp. So when you're lean enough in the gym for any of these categories, go a few pounds more. Drop a few more pounds of fat to make sure you get lean enough when those lights hit you. So hopefully this can help you guys out a little bit. And if you're in our area, keep an eye out in the Mid-Atlantic zone for Peter Gordon's stage-ready presentations that are, you know, taking place all the time. We have them all the time over here. And contact your judges. You know, you really want to do well, and you're really into the sport, and you want to be, you know, take it to the next level, and you want to do well. Contact your judges. Contact your head judge. Contact the people in your area that will be judging you, and send them photos and ask them. They will answer you. They'll gladly answer you and tell you, hey, here's the deal. I think you should do this. I think you should do that. You know, I think you should wait a year and add more muscle. I mean, they'll tell you what they're looking for and what they think you should do. But be aware, guys, if it's anyone but the judges, it more than likely is just an opinion that you're getting from someone, and opinions vary. I had people talk about the pictures I put up about how their opinion is this, their opinion is that, and I'm like, this guy that I put up the picture of that you're saying he's not good enough and his legs are too small, there's a picture of him standing right next to Chris Bumstead, who is one of the rising stars in classic physique, and he was being compared to him because of they were similar physiques. So in their opinion, they didn't like this guy, but they love Chris Bumstead, and he's the rising star. So, you know, it's opinions. It's opinions. Unless it's the judges, then it goes on their trained eye, which they've been taught to look for certain things, like things you wouldn't even think of. Like in classic physique, if it's close and they're both on stage and I'm looking at them, there was last show, there was a couple of guys that were close. I looked at their trunks. Where their trunks were on their waist, I could see where it dug in slightly on one guy and not the other guy. And what that means is the guy where it's digging in, he has slightly a little more fat to lose compared to the other guy. They were similar in shape, similar in size. One was harder than the other, and they both posed really well. So it came down to that last little bit of fat that he did that the other guy didn't, as to placed above the other one. Like, there are things that judges look at that you may not even realize, and the person coaching you doesn't even have a clue about. Like, we look at things to make sure we're getting the right person in the right spot as best that we can. And unless you know those things, it's impossible to prepare for. So make sure you contact your judges. Make sure you do everything that you can to make sure that you're your best on stage, posing. Stay loyal to your diet. Make sure you're lean enough. Make sure that your tan is good and you have the right trunks or the right suit or whatever. Just make sure everything is prepared. You have to plan and you have to prepare, or when you finally get there to that day, it's all going to fall apart. And trust me, guys, 20 weeks worth of work falling apart in one day is the worst feeling in the world. BioStateTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is the blog. It's the Get Ready Bicep, and we are out.